each other now. Hold your father, mother, sister, and your brother down. I can lean on you and you can lean. So carrying and gossiping, that's what they on. Being prosperous, that's what we on. That's rock the moose the king, that's what we on. Free, shoulder to lean on. Over 10 M's, I might buy them peons. Yes, I'm there whenever my folks need me. Yes, I'm lit whenever y'all folks see me. Y'all know I freeze it, do it prime time like Dion. Freezing like Javante, still fresh like Keon. Boost in its work effort, win like Crawford, that's what we on. Trying to stay far from them coffins, that's what we on. Tosses will be loading up the cartridge, that's what we on. Always complaining about their losses, that's what they on. Turning losses into victories, that's what we on. Music health making history, that's what we on. Always making classics so my music lasts for eons. Lucky that I'm Muslim and I'm giving out passes, and I care about the masses who I would've got them squeezed on. People couldn't see me with some bifocal glasses or a telescope from NASA. If you back them, get your...
Peace, everybody. What's up with y'all? How y'all feeling this Tuesday? This is Feeling Healthier Freeway, Road to a Healthier You, or Road to a Better You. I'm Philadelphia Freeway, your host. And, we here, we started this platform that we do once a week, every Tuesday at 9 p.m., for people that may be going through some things. My main reason for starting this journey, for the people that don't know, I had a four-year dialysis journey. I was on dialysis from September 15th, 2015, all the way to February 5th, 2019, when I received my gift of life. I received my new kidney. The next year, 2020, my daughter Harmony was diagnosed with a rare cancer called sarcoma in September. In October 2020, my son Jihad tragically passed away. And, after he passed away, me and my daughter went back to rumbling, and she succumbed to her cancer October of 2021. And then my father passed away in November of 2022. So that was a 4-year dialysis journey. That was 3 deaths back to back of people that was very close to me, actually under the same roof in the same household. And, those things really affected me. And besides having a relationship with God, talking about it to people that might be going through the similar things or might have similar experiences really helped me a lot. So that's one of the reasons why we started this platform. So everybody that follow this platform, y'all know last month was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is officially over, but we're going to keep the conversation going, man. Just because it's over doesn't mean that we don't need maintenance and we don't need, attention paid to our mental health. Like, these things are important, yo. And it's one of the, the reasons why we're here, man, so I'm happy to be here. We still building this platform one brick at a time every week. So make sure y'all, if you know somebody that might need this, or somebody that might want to just tap in and listen, they might be going through some things, make sure y'all spread the awareness. Y'all let them know what's going on. And, we here. Your boy Philadelphia Freeway. Alhamdulillah, through the permission of God. I just came from an exciting weekend. We just had a big performance this past Saturday, which was 4th of July in my city in Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin Parkway, and I had a chance to perform with my brothers from State Property, my brothers Chris Neef, Petey Crack, Benny Siegel, and I also was blessed to share the stage with Meek Mills, Jill Scott, and Will Smith. Growing up, everybody from my era, everybody from my hood, we all used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and listen to Will Smith and watch Will Smith. So definitely was a blessing to share the stage with him. And not only did I get a chance to share the stage with him, but a few years back, I got a chance to be on the new reboot of Bel-Air, where I played Will's coach. And, that was a dope experience for me too, man. So I'm blessed to have these dope experiences, and I'm blessed to be able to share these experiences with y'all, and, like dealing with these tragedies and these things that I was faced with. Like I told you, having a relationship with God was my main anchor. But being able to chop it up and talk to people, that might be going through the same thing, has really helped me and really been a blessing for me. So that's one of the reasons why we keep this platform going, and that's one of the reasons why we do what we do. So I encourage y'all to keep spreading awareness, keep letting people know what's going on right now, and we're gonna continue to keep it going every Tuesday, each and every Tuesday. So being as though Mental Health Awareness Month is over, we're gonna keep the awareness going. We're going to talk about resilience. We're going to talk about grief. We're going to talk about faith. Those three words are very important. When you face with a trial or you face with a dilemma, it's important to have resilience. And it's important to have faith. Like faith really, really got me through. Like faith in my God, faith in my religion, uh, believing that believing God's promise that He's not going to put nothing on me that I can't handle really helped me a lot, and that all has a lot to do with faith. Like really believing that. Like I really believe that in my heart with whatever trial or tribulation I was faced with. Like when I was diagnosed with end stage renal failure, I remember the day when I first walked into the dialysis unit, and I looked around like, this is my life now. Like this is a huge lifestyle adjustment for me, but this is what I got to do to stay alive. So that was resilience, and at that moment I remembered God's promise to me that He's not going to put nothing on me that I can't handle. And I just kept that mindset, and I went in there, and I adjusted to whatever I had to deal with. One of the things that I learned early being on dialysis is, if you want a transplant, if you're on dialysis and you want a kidney transplant, you have to be healthy enough to receive a kidney transplant, and you have to do the workup so you can get on a kidney transplant list. And I did both of those things. I made sure that I was healthy enough to get on the transplant list. I did the workup, and alhamdulillah, I was able to get on the transplant list. And I was on the list for 4 years, and then I received my life-sustaining kidney February 5th of 2019. And the crazy thing about that is my dialysis journey could have actually been longer. But what I did was, I had some good people in my corner. We did a lot of research, and we found a clinical trial that worked for me. So that's another thing that I suggest to anybody that's going through a health issue. Like if you fighting cancer, like you need a transplant, whatever you got going on, do your research, because 9 times out of 10, there's some clinical trials that may be able to help you. So at the time, it was a clinical trial going on where they gave people kidneys with hepatitis C, and then they cured the hepatitis C, and then the people had a new kidney. So at the time, the procedure was so new, insurance didn't even cover it. Shout out to the good people at John Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. That's why Baltimore has a special place in my heart. One of the many reasons why Baltimore has a special place in my heart, because I got my transplant there in John Hopkins. And I promise y'all, when I was in there, I felt like I was the only patient in there. They really handled me and carried me in a good manner, which is a blessing. So probably like 2 or 3 weeks before I got my kidney transplant, they called me down to John Hopkins. And they broke the whole thing down for me. They said, yeah, we did this procedure. We did thousands of them already, where we would give a person with kidney failure a kidney with hepatitis C. We cure the hepatitis C, and then you have a new kidney. So they told me that they did thousands of them before. They explained to me the risks, and I signed the contract, and probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe sooner, I got the call. I remember I got the call, it was a Sunday night, and it was like, we have a kidney for you. Go to dialysis on Monday like you normally do, and then make sure you got your bag packed, and come to John Hopkins right after. And that's what I did. I packed my bag. I went to dialysis that Monday. I let everybody in that joint know this might be my last day in here, God willing. And, alhamdulillah, that was my last day, And I went to the hospital the next morning. I received a kidney transplant. So right before I went under for the kidney transplant, they gave me a dose of a medicine called Maverick. And this medicine is a pill that you take once a day. And once you take this pill once a day for 8 weeks, you're cured of the hepatitis C. So a normal person with hepatitis C has thousands to millions of units of hepatitis C in their blood. Right before I went under, they gave me the dose of Maverick. Once I came up from the kidney transplant, I had hepatitis C, but I think I had 16 units of hepatitis C in my blood versus thousands to millions of units of a person that normally has hepatitis C. And by the third time they tested me for hepatitis C, it was completely gone. And I still don't have hepatitis C to this day, which is a blessing, man. So my point is look into them clinical trials because, pardon me, a clinical trial really helped me and it really shortened my wait for the kidney transplant, and it may be a clinical trial that might work for you in your situation. So make sure you look into that and you do your research. Knowledge is power. Just knowing, a lot of people might get in that situation and they might sit around and wait for somebody to tell them something, or they might wait till they see something on social media. But the most important thing for a person in that situation to do is do your research, do your homework. It's about you. And anybody that's dealing with a health issue, and even if you don't have a health issue and you just keeping up with your routine physicals and you going to the doctors, getting your blood work done at least once a year, it's important that you ask questions and you talk to the doctors because it's your life and it's your health. If you're not proactive about it, nobody else is going to be more proactive than you. Like if you don't care, nobody else is going to care. That's the same thing when I was on dialysis and when I was on the transplant list. I couldn't miss no treatments. Some people that was on dialysis that I would communicate with, they would only go to dialysis when they felt bad or when they felt like the toxins was building up in their system. And you really can't do that, especially if you're trying to get a transplant, because they monitor those things. And like I said, if they feel like you don't care, they're not going to care. They're going to get that organ to somebody that's proactive and somebody that really cares, because getting a transplant is just one part of the journey. It's a whole nother side to it. Once you get the kidney, you have to maintain the kidney. You have to stay healthy. You have to watch what you put in your bodies. When I left John Hopkins, they gave me a book bag, like a big yellow book bag with my medicine and with a binder of how to take the medicine, with a folder of how to take the medicine, man. And that's one of the things I was worried about going into the process of getting a kidney transplant. Like, I'm going to have to take all this medicine for the rest of my life. But now, to me, it's second nature. I take my medicine at 8 in the morning. I take my medicine at 8 at night. I try my best to maintain it. I make sure I keep my refills on deck when I travel. I make sure I take extra medicine, especially if I'm going out the country or if I'm going somewhere far, like to the West Coast or, Canada or somewhere, where I might not have access to like normal pharmacies and stuff like that, So it's important to maintain those things and just be aware be aware, man. You know, it's very important. Peace, peace.
What's up?
What's up, my brother? How you feeling?
Ain't shit. Just working. We're in the studio. We're making some tunes.
That's what's
We
up.
should broadcast from the studio next week, just from out of here. But
Yeah,
that's not what.
we could do
That's
that
not.
one time for sure. That'll be dope. That'll
That
be
would be
dope.
dope. Not why I'm
Mhm.
here though. As far as life is life, and still trying to connect all the dots and figure everything out.
Mhm.
I'm still healing from everything with my father. His
Mhm.
memorial is coming up on the 16th of this month. Um,
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, let me. If I'm
yeah,
around, I'll definitely come, bro. Just make sure you give me the information. I think I'm gonna be
I,
in town on the 16th too. I think
yeah.
I should be
You
around.
moving? You moving around?
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff going on. It's a pretty busy month. We just did the 4th of July thing this past weekend. Friday, I have an event in Philly. Then I have another event in Virginia. Then Saturday, I'm performing with Rick Ross in Philly. Then Sunday, you know where I'm
Look
gonna
at
be
that.
at. I'm gonna be in New York with the gang.
With the
With Big
yes,
Homie.
sir. You
At
did.
you know what I mean, at the
Hell yeah.
festivities.
You're right.
You know,
It
and
should be a
then
good time.
yep, the week after that we got more work. So.
All right, so
But
you
I think
busy.
I'll be available on the 16th though. I should
The
be.
16th. Yeah, that'd be great if we could put something together.
Mhm.
I'm just getting through it. I'm having my moments. I'm
Mhm.
vulnerable right now. I'm just having my moments. I'm like, damn, I miss my dog.
Yeah.
I don't wanna come over here every week and be talking about like me losing my pop, but like I'm a year in,
No,
you know what I'm
man. This
saying?
is
I
what
know
it's
you
this is what it's for, man. Like, listen, I'm
yeah.
years in, and
I
I
feel
still
like
feel those
but I
moments.
feel like I walk around with all that on my chest and my back and the monkey on my back and I be talking to my friends and like you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I'm making music about it. I'm trying to be the best I can, you know what I mean? Show up for my
Yeah, for
son and my
sure.
people. So
Yeah.
it's just like I don't want that to be the story. I'm just trying to figure out how to get over that, so I don't have to walk around like you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's a darkness on my back. You know what I'm saying, and I feel like that's where I'm at.
Hmm.
I'm sick of having that. I'm like honestly just sick of you know what I mean, having to be like, damn, I'm fucking venting and I'm grieving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. You
I'm
gotta
sick
take
of
your time, man. Like, you gotta take your
yeah.
time, and you gotta do what works for you. One thing I could tell you, bro, is you're never going to be over it. Like, listen,
Yeah.
like, it's been since 2020. When I lost my son, I lost my daughter 2021. I lost my dad 2022. It's 2026, and
Shit.
sometimes it hits harder now than it did back then.
For
And
sure.
it reminds me of family members that I lost before in the past, and then it makes me reflect on those things, and like it makes me want to just be better, and like be around, make sure I'm around so I could pray for them, and like you got to try to look at the positive out of it. Like yeah, you lost your pop, that was your dog, but you're still here. You could keep his message alive. You could keep the good experiences that you did have with them. You could share them with your family, and try your best to be a better dad. And try to make him proud. So just try to find a good in it. I know that's a hard phrase to say. Try to find a good in losing your father, but it is some good in everything. Like one good thing about like losing a loved one is you know it's a reminder for us that eventually it's going to be us. Like
Facts.
like when I buried my dad, we got the same name. So when I walked away from his grave, I seen Leslie Pridgeon on the grave. No
Yeah.
juniors, no seniors, nothing. I just seen Leslie
You've
Pridgeon.
seen
I'm
it,
like,
yeah.
wow, like that's gonna be me. That's my same name. That's my dad that raised me. Like I just was helping to take care of this man, and like we had to bury him, and you know, I'm seeing his grave right now, and my name is on it. And
Yeah,
it's
how do you
not
get
an
through
easy
that
thing.
though? Like, how do you? I mean, I don't know how many times you go to the grave. I don't have a grave for my dad. He
Mhm.
wanted to be, he wanted ashes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Yeah,
even know.
yeah, yeah.
So me on my personal, I don't even know where the ashes are, which is
Hmm.
crazy. But it is what it is, and we're gonna keep moving right in the right
Yep.
direction because we got a lot at stake and we working on a lot.
Yeah,
So
yep. Alhamdulillah.
I can't even go, you know what I mean, to see where he at type time. You feel me? So it's
Yeah, I
like,
understand. And it's a lot of people that's in that situation.
yeah,
But what I suggest for people that's in that situation is hold on to what people can't take from you.
mm,
Like the time that you spend with him, the memories that you have with him. Like, it might be some stuff that just you and him shared, and like, things that nobody can take from you no matter what the circumstances is. Like, focus on those things, try to think of the good times, the lessons that you learned from them, like, the lessons that you didn't learn from them, like that can
right.
make you a better father. Like,
The
you know what
good
I
and the
mean?
bad.
The
Yeah.
good
Good,
and the
bad, and
bad.
ugly. Yeah.
Good, bad, beautiful, and ugly. Like,
Yeah.
and just
So
reflect
you,
on those things.
so how often do you visit Pop's grave? Like, are you there? Like,
I try to go there at least a couple times a year. Like, what I'm
okay.
saying? And like I said, it's not an easy thing, but in Islam we believe that, when we pray for our loved ones, when we donate charity in their name and we do things in their name, that they can feel it, and that it's reported that sometimes if you do certain things for your loved ones, the angels come to them and tell them and let them know, like So I just try my best to do as much as I can,
Yeah.
it's not easy, man. Just thinking about it and just talking about it, like sometimes can make you immediately sad. Like like I used to
Yeah.
spend so much time with my dad, ride around in the car, him singing. Like even when he had dementia, it was a few things that he never forgot. Like he would always be like, Alhamdulillah. And then
Right.
he would be like, he used to be like 82nd Airborne Soldier, pick
Yeah,
up
yeah,
your
yeah.
weapon, follow me. He'd be like something
Los.
airborne infantry, like something the military had like instilled
Yeah.
in him, like brainwashed him and had him. He remembered that and he remembered God. Even when he didn't remember me, even when I was next to him and he would be like, "Where's Freeway at?" And I'm like, "Dad, I'm right here." And
You don't
he'd be
remember.
like, he'd be like, "Okay, cool." And like I just would think about him and like think about how lonely that must feel. Like the person that cared for you and love you unconditionally is right next to you and you don't even know it. And then he just at that point in his life, he just knew me as Freeway. He didn't even know that we had the same name. Like I'd be like, "I'm your son." He'd be like, "No, you're not." And
How
I'd be like,
wait,
"Yes,
how old
I
was
am."
how old was Pop? Like how old was he?
He was 65. He was 65.
God
He
damn.
was pretty young, but he used to
Yeah.
box, so he got
Okay.
punched in the head a lot. He used to do things like, and another thing that I was just telling one of my friends, like, this is why we really got to pay attention to our peoples, and when we see something, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
We can't be ashamed. We can't try to protect people's feelings. We have to talk to them, because I remember I don't know how many years it was ago, but I still lived in Delaware. Like I lived in Newark, Delaware at the time, and I think that probably had to be like 2005 or 2006 or something like that. And I remember I was having a conversation with my dad. He was in my house and he was like helping me put a dresser together. And we was having a conversation, and then we had the same conversation right after that. And I'm
Mm.
like, damn, that's crazy. That's kind of weird that he just repeated everything that we just said, but I didn't say nothing to him. I didn't want to make him feel bad about it. Like, you know what I'm
Fact.
saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
all these years later, he wound up having dementia. And I promise you, that probably was like 20 years before that. Like, you
We
know what I'm
could have
saying?
caught
So
it.
who knows how early those things start? So we
Right.
can't, like, if
Right.
we peep something going on with our people, something like that, we got to talk to them about it. We can't be ashamed to, like, to talk to them because they might not realize what's going on with their self. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's
facts.
important that we be open and we can talk to each other and we have relationships with people where we feel like we can open up to them and communicate with them without them getting mad at us or us feeling ashamed to tell them some information.
It's always good to be truthful and vulnerable and speak
Mhm.
your mind. Like with something on your mind, you got something, you got a vendetta with somebody, you just say what it is, get it
Yep.
over with, and deal with
Get
it.
it out the way, man.
Get
Deal
it
with
out
it
the way
immediately.
because if you be we gonna hold on to it and it's gonna fester and you know what I'm saying. We It don't help anybody.
Yep.
Um,
Even with that situation, I'm like, man, if I would have said something back then, maybe he would have started, going to the doctor and like, trying to get checked up for it, and maybe things could have happened different. Even though everything is written the way it's supposed to be anyway, but
for
those
sure.
are things that we reflect on. You know.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week,
Yep, my
and
brother. Anytime.
hopefully
Appreciate you, man.
let's set up some for the next week or whenever you free.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm with you. And then let me know about the 16th.
Yes, sir.
All right, my brother. Yeah, yeah, man. It's never easy dealing with the loss of a loved one. Like I lost my son in 2020. I lost my daughter in 2021. I lost my dad in 2022. Before that, I lost cousins. I lost my grandma, my grandfather. I lost homies. I lost people that I cared about. And those things still weigh on me to this day. So, like, if you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, just try your best to navigate through it. Like, it's a lifelong process. It's not nothing that you're gonna wake up the next day and be like, okay, I'm cool. From like anything could, trigger those memories and like make you feel some type of way, man. So it's important that we pay attention to those things, man. Uh, surviving loss, like surviving loss, is serious, man. like my kids, like, I remember when they were born. Like, I remember when they were going to school, like, when they was in kindergarten, like, when they graduated grade school, and like, my daughter when we went to college orientation together, and like, my son when he graduated from some of his programs that he was in, me being right there by his side, and it's rough, like, like a parent is not supposed to bury their child like normally, like the normal way the society goes. A parent is not supposed to bury their child. Their child is supposed to bury them. Like, and I had to bury both of my children, and through the grace of God, I got a relationship with God, and I got the little understanding that I have of Islam. I'm telling you, it really helped me because it's people that had just a fraction of the loss that I dealt with, and they fell apart. Like, and they blame God and they can't understand what's going on. And like, and I'm just grateful for my connection with God and for the little understanding that I have because it really helps me. You know, it's a rough journey. Kidney failure, then losing my son, then losing my daughter, and my daughter facing cancer before she passed away. Is real and it's ongoing. Like, like the pain is ongoing. Like, like the cancer that my daughter had was called sarcoma, and it's probably like I think they said it's one person might have survived, like lived like 15 years with the cancer, and not too many people survived it. But we were hopeful. We were clinging on to those positive, facts that they was telling us about the disease. And it came to a point where my daughter had tumors everywhere. She had tumors in her brain. She had tumors all over her body, in her back, on her spine, and it just was rough, man. Like, and imagine your child coming to you and saying, "Dad, I think the doctors is giving up on me." Like, and physically, it's nothing that I could do about it. Like, I could pray to God all day and pray and ask God to help me deal with the situation and like just help us stay strong together. And I'm just there in her corner and hugging her and like getting her whatever she needs and taking her back and forth to her doctor's appointments and trying to be supportive as I can. But really knowing there's nothing that I can do besides pray and like ask God to, help us with the situation is rough, and I remember when we came to the point where we knew she wasn't going to survive, man, and it was rough. Like I remember, like when we was in the hospital, and I had to call the people that she really loved, like her friends and like her mom and like the people that really cared about her, and me knowing like that's my daughter, so I know she have a lot of attributes of me, and I know how I was thinking, like how I would feel if I'm in that situation. I know like when her friends came to see her, and like she knew in her head, like man, this is probably it. And I don't even know if I'm strong enough to be in that position and like to handle it like how she handled it, man. Like it's rough, man. Like my daughter was like super strong. Like I'm telling you, every day she had a smile on her face, no matter what. Like and man, it's not an easy journey, man. But through the permission of God, I'm still here. Like, I can still pray for her. I can still uplift her and my son. I can still like try to do as much as I can do while I'm still here, to keep their legacies alive and to like, spread awareness and try to help other people and, give people all the facts that I know may be able to help them, deal with the situation or you know, uh try to handle it quicker. Like, that's why I encourage everybody to keep up with your routine physicals, get your blood work done, and all those things. Because I have another family member that was dealing with cancer, but they were on top of their thing, like keeping up with their doctor's appointments and everything. And they had an early diagnosis, so their outcome was better, than my daughter's outcome. Like, and even though that's still a challenge because we still have to go back and forth to the hospital and make sure everything is on the up and up. But yeah, like early detection is powerful. Like even with my situation, with me dealing with end stage renal failure. My a phrase that they use in the medical world, what happened to me is called crashing onto dialysis. When I on September 15th, when I went into the hospital, I crashed onto dialysis. I had to immediately get put on a dialyzer just to feel better. I had so much fluids and toxins built up in my body. They told me if I would have waited like another week or two, I would have died. And like just hearing that lets me know how resilient the black man is, because I was still walking around. Like I still walked into the hospital. Like it was people coming into my hospital room, like doctors and nurses, and like like yo, we can't believe you walked in here. Like my nephrologist at the time, his name was Dr. Freeman. He told me, he was like, listen, I've been doing this for 30 years and I never seen numbers as high as your numbers. And he like, listen, I can't believe you walked in here. Like you shouldn't be able to walk in here. Like I was supposed to get pushed in that joint, like in a wheelchair or something, or worse, and I walked in there. Like, but the best thing for us is to keep up with our routine physicals, get our blood work done at least once a year, probably more, but at least once a year, because your blood work is the only thing that can let you know what's going on in your body, man. We have to normalize those things because sometimes they're not normal. Like, those things are not normal in our community. Peace, bro. What's good with you?
Yo, what's up, man? Yo, I'm in
How you?
the stew with Cass too.
That's what's up.
Um, and you were just you were touching on mourning and kind of like dementia. When you have someone going through alcoholism in your family, especially if
Hmm.
it's like a parent, you
Hmm.
kind of feel like you have to mourn them like while they're still there.
Yeah.
And so like my mom struggled after her father died. Big patriarch kind of guy in the family, and
Hmm.
um, and so she started drinking, and as me and my siblings all left the house, it kind of got like worse and worse. And me being the youngest and like the son, I get away with a lot, and she would, you know, buy me and the boys alcohol to keep us around instead of us going out and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
kind of participated.
Hmm.
And
I,
then
I
when
actually
my
seen that before. Like,
yeah,
I have friends that parents would do that. Like, and like my mom was about a book. Like she was a great mom. Like she
yeah,
barely cursed. So coming from that and then having friends whose parents would let them smoke and let them do certain things, they normalized it. I definitely understand the difference, man.
yeah. And then when it came to a head, you know, uh, my parents were actually going through a divorce at the same time I was,
Hmm.
and it was over my mom's drinking, and so her going into rehab and not really having my parents there during my divorce, and then my sisters taking it differently, and
Hmm.
kind of at certain points, one of my sisters like cut my mom off, didn't want to like interact with her because you never know if you were it's like two different people. Like, you
Yeah.
might have those moments with your dad where he remembers who you are, and he's the same person, but then there's moments where it's just like I don't know who I'm looking at. It's like a switch,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just trying not to repeat that like generationally has
Exactly.
been like on my mind,
Yeah, we
and
call that trying to break the generational curse. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and like
We need those things, man, because if not, the cycle will keep repeating.
right. And that conversation with God, like I recently got, more attached to my faith again. Having people in your life that are attached to theirs, and having a partner, you know, who looks to God. You find yourself, you kind of just find yourself praying more.
Yeah.
And even if it's not structured, if it's not, you know, a faith by any one churches or, mosques or synagogues means, it's all just, a conversation with God.
Hmm.
And having that has really kind of helped me stick to the process of, taking care of what I need to take care of and get myself in a better position. And,
Yeah,
so
most definitely, man. Yeah,
A lot of
that's
stuff you're
dope,
talking
man.
about is resonating tonight. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man, because it's real, man. Like, this is life. And, throughout our journey in life, different people are going to be faced with different challenges. Like, but a lot of people go through similar things, man. And it's important that, that we talk about it and we try to find the best way to navigate through these things, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and take care of your parents when they're there. Even if
Yeah,
they
most
have
definitely.
their struggles, you gotta just look past it, and you gotta just do what you can to have them in your life and not cut them off. I know people don't talk to their parents, and I'm like, I don't know how you could do that, but I guess I understand in some situations, you know.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about having understanding. Like, in my religion in Islam and in a lot of religions, like even Christianity, you're supposed to honor our parents. Like in Islam, it's a saying that paradise lays at the feet of mothers. Like the
Mm,
only way you're not supposed to listen to your parents in Islam is if they try to tell you to do something that'll take you out of the fold of Islam, like murder somebody or do something crazy. That's the
right,
only time you can't listen to your parents. But other than that, you gotta listen to them. You gotta treat them with respect, even if they're disrespecting you. That's your parents. They're the reasons why you're here. Like, what I'm
right,
saying? So they are held at a high regard no matter what. Like, and understanding that will help people navigate any situation with their parents.
right,
Like, you want to be there for them, even if they're spiraling out of control and they're going down a negative path. To me, my personal opinion is the worst thing is to stray away from them or not be there in their corner. Because I can imagine if it was me and I was spiraling out of control and I was going down a negative path and I didn't understand what was going on, I would need somebody to help me and to pull me back into the right path. And who else better to do it than somebody that cares for you and loves you unconditionally, like a child, or vice versa, like a parent for a child,
right,
like
right.
So,
Well, I appreciate you talking tonight, bro. I'll be watching.
no, I appreciate you too, bro. Thank you, man. Thanks for
All
tapping
right.
in. Yeah, man. These conversations, man, they're real and they resonate, man. And I promise y'all, like when I started in the music business, I didn't plan on doing none of this. I just wanted to be the hottest rapper. I wanted to rep my city. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to make a lot of money. Like, the things that I'm doing now in 2026, like with my foundation, Freedom Thinkers Academy, and with all my other partnerships that I have, this is work that I never expected to do. But once I was faced with these challenges, you know, we sprung into action, and like I always say, we try our best to turn lemons into lemonade. And speaking of Freedom Thinkers Academy, we have our Free Fest August 1st. This is our third annual Free Fest. So it's this August 1st at the Philadelphia Navy Yard at the Marine Parade Ground, starting at 11 a.m. It's going to be from 11 to 4, and then the live performances start at 4 p.m. to 6. And that's a blessing. That's a free festival for the community. We're gonna have live performances. We're gonna have health screenings. We have different workshops in different like villages and like things for the whole family, man. So if y'all in the tri-state area on August 1st, make sure y'all pop out. Make sure y'all come to Free Fest. I'm gonna be announcing some surprises and more special guests coming soon. But it all comes full circle, man. Like and that's just another way for me to give back to the community. I feel like it's important for us to have health screenings there. We got performances, we got concerts, we got a live concert, like we got vendors. So why not have something that can help better us, like health screenings? So that's what we on. We just try to do our best and try to make lemons out of lemonade. Man, that's why I'm here. Another thing that I wanted to talk about on this episode is what people struggle with quietly. Like, we all have things that we hold on to that we don't want to talk about. Like, and you never know what a person is going through. That's why you got to give people grace. Like, when you're moving throughout this world, like, you might bump into somebody and you might feel like they have an attitude, but you never know what they're going through. They might just buried a loved one, or they might just had a major, something major going on in their life. So it's important that we have grace with ourselves first and foremost, and then we have grace with each other. You know, you know. And another thing I want to talk about is how grief hits unexpectedly. Peace,
Hey, what's going
peace.
on, Free?
What's up, bro? How you feeling, man? How you feeling today?
Chilling, man. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to see you, man.
Hey, you too. You too. Yeah, that 4th of July joint out there was hype, man. I look
Yeah,
good.
thank you. Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a dope experience, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, man, it looked good, especially out there, bro. It was online. That shit looked dope.
yeah. Thank you, man. Then it almost got canceled because it started raining. We are supposed to perform. I think we are supposed to hit the stage like 8:30. We probably didn't hit the stage till like one in the morning or something like that. You know.
It's like everywhere raining right now, though.
Yeah. And I'm
It's been
happy.
like
I'm happy it did rain because it was scorching out there, and it was cool. It was easier for us to perform because it was cool, and I think it was a bigger crowd that came back than the people that was there the first time. You know, so it worked out.
same thing out here in Nashville. It's been raining for like a week,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was like it was good. You can see the fireworks going off
That's what's up.
everywhere. People still having a good time.
Hmm.
Hey, a few people that spoke earlier, man, when he was talking about his dad got cremated and whatnot, so he didn't
Hmm.
feel like he had a place.
Hmm.
Man, one thing I learned with my boy that passed away, you know what I mean, like I told you before, Joey and whatnot, he got cremated too. So
Hmm.
on my travels and whatnot, like going to different places, I was able to bring him with me and share a part of that with him, like put his ashes in the places I had visited. So it
Hmm.
was like you almost didn't leave your loved one to a confined space because they got to be out there in the world as well.
Hmm.
So I mean, that's one thing that helped me mentally, knowing that even his flesh wasn't stuck in one place. You know what I mean? His soul was free, but even
Hmm.
his flesh was able to be out in the world. He wasn't confined to any one space.
Yeah. I
So
feel you on that.
I mean
Hmm.
that was one thing that helped me as far as like an ending. You know what I mean? Because you don't
Yeah.
know. We're not in that spot. You know what I mean?
Hmm. You know, the
Um,
most important thing is to do what works for you. Like like, and it sound like that really worked for you. It really helped you. We the most important thing is to find what works for us, man, and just try to stick to that. You know.
yeah, it's been a weird experience out here in Nashville, like pursuing the music and stuff like that. One thing I
Hmm.
wanted to ask you because you definitely hold this place in life, like with losing your father, with losing your daughter and your son and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like I find myself in these positions where I'm pursuing music and it's live, man. And you're full of that light at the moment and stuff, but then you
Hmm.
remember that loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It break like
Yeah.
that hit you at any time moment. Like
Hmm.
I find myself stuck in a place sometimes where I almost feel guilty for when I keep going. You know
Yeah, I
what I
feel
mean?
you, man. Yeah, but
Like
we
keep
like I don't like my personal opinion is we shouldn't feel guilty, because everything like our journeys, everything was written before we got here. So it's not really too much that we control. The only thing that can change what was written is sincere dua and sincere prayer to God and like selflessly asking God to help change the situation. Other than that, a situation is going to be what it's going to be. So we can't feel guilty, especially not because we're moving on. What we need to do is recognize that, we are still here and there's still things that we can do to uplift our loved one that passed away. And like, especially like with the music, I made music about my family that no one even heard yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's one of the ways that I grieve. Even before my losses, like I will put my pain into my music, and that's why it resonates with a lot of people because it's my real life experiences from my heart. Like it's authentic. That's why people can feel it. Like you could close your eyes, you could feel it because it's real. Like, and I like when I'm in those positions when I'm sad and I'm going through things like that and I'm in a creative space at the same time, I try to pour that into my music, you know. So that's
yeah.
one of my suggestions for you. Like when you feel like you're in a position that like you don't feel like moving forward, and you feel blocked because of that, try to take that same pain and put it into your craft. Like talk about how you feel at the moment. Like yeah, like right now I feel like such and like I feel down because I'm thinking about my homie that I lost. Like you know what I mean, and like just try to like make it work for you. And like sometimes it makes you feel better when you could pour it out and then listen back to it. That's something that you and me have because we're artists. Like a normal person that's not an artist probably don't can't even relate to that. They can probably relate to the listening part and feeling the music, but they can't relate to being able to pour their passion and their pain into the music. So that's something special that we have. So look at it like
Yeah,
that.
it's actually a unique space, man, because not a lot of people, everybody gets to hear the song. Not a lot of
Hmm.
people get to see what made it.
Yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? Like you,
Hmm.
we hold that space where you know it could be painful to think about it, and then it can be even more painful to write. It could be even
Hmm.
more painful to reminisce, and then to go in there and put that thought down, to write that song, to get it in the studio, to put it out.
Hmm.
And then, like you
Yep,
said, like I do the same thing. Like I got songs where they just tuck back in my phone and I listen to them. I ain't even put them out in the world.
for sure. Yep,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a fact. Hmm.
And
And then I'm pretty
that's a
sure,
weird place.
yeah, I'm pretty sure songs that other people made that you're hearing that'll take you somewhere, to take you right to a certain place. Like it's certain songs that I hear, and then it'll take me right back to my childhood, or it will take me to I could almost smell how it smelled the first time I heard the song, like you know what I mean, or what was going on that
Yeah.
time in the world at that time when the song came out. So music is powerful, and for us that's able to create music, we definitely we're in a unique place.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's weird you just said that because I remember feeling the same stuff like recording the song. Almost
Hmm.
like you could refill the hits. You could
Yeah, for
refill the
sure.
burns. Like
Yeah,
it's wild with that what it triggers, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's real, man. Like the human's emotions is real, man. Like and each and every human has emotions, man. So when you pour your emotions into your music, another human being with emotions are going to feel is going to feel it, especially if it's real and it's coming from your heart. I feel like my best music is when I was keeping it 100% honest. Like as artists, we all fabricate, we all put a little extra on it to make it sound fancy, and like try to portray the best version of ourselves. But the best music is when it comes from your heart. Like I'll give a perfect example. I was just blessed enough to be on stage with Will Smith while he performed "Summertime," and I'm sitting there watching him perform the song that I heard 1,000 times, and it just took me right to the first time I heard it, and just listen to the lyrics. The place called the Plateau is where everybody go. Guys out hugging, girls doing likewise, looking for at the honey in front of you with the light eyes. You could close your eyes and visualize that. Like there was times where I was young and I was at the plateau and I seen the picture that he painted like right in front of me. Like it's super real, it's authentic. Like I know this is real. I seen it with my own eyes. Like that's how
Yeah, that
music
that's
connects.
yeah, that's a special memory right there.
Yeah, for
Shit, I
sure.
mean, you guys, even growing up in the same time period, bro, you got songs that did that for me, man. I know what
Yeah.
it was like to be in that situation, and not a lot of people. I don't think people understand truly what it really feels like, bro. Like I'm that guy. Like I used to hustle, sell drugs, beat up the block, hold guns, do all this crazy
Hmm.
stuff. Been through addiction, and then to find this inner peace that you got in yourself that you're trying to convey together, bro. Like I went from holding guns to taking pictures of flowers in my phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's that's crazy work right there. Like to go
Man,
through all of that, and then bro, I'm out here taking pictures of flowers, like trying to find
trying to find some peace and like
this
trying to
part.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
and
feel
that
you, bro.
journey's been tough too, man.
Yeah, even with
That
me, like
journey's
I
been
was
real
in
tough.
I was in the streets heavy when I was a young boy. Like a lot of stuff that I did, I couldn't imagine like living like that again. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I still pray to God forgive me for like being in the streets and some of the stuff that I did when I was a young boy. Like, even though I'm removed from that for at least you know, 20, 30 years. Like, you know what I mean? So,
It's
it's
good.
a
It's good
blessing,
to
man.
move on
Growth and
from it.
elevation. Growth and elevation is a blessing, man. Like to be able to like look back and see how far you came and like, that's why I try my best to, give back as much as I can and pour into the community as much as I can. It's very important to me.
Yeah, I had that conversation recently too. And I was like, they were like, why are you doing this? Like, you seem like you're struggling. I'm like, dude, I refuse to go back that. You know how quick it would be for me to just turn around, like, yep, I'm gonna start flipping birds again. But it's like,
Yeah, for
what?
sure.
What
Hmm.
for? What for?
Man, even when I got on, like I like me on, I'm moving around the world, and my former life, people hearing it, what I did, like in the streets, and like and like I was telling you, it's so authentic that people can relate to it, and a lot of things that I said, people know you had to really live it to talk about it. Like I remember, like that's what it's the 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. And I remember when Reasonable Dog came out, and myself, my hood, like everybody was around me, we really connected with Jay because, like, some of the things that he was saying on that album, you really had to live it to talk it.
To, under, to
Like, you know what I
understand it,
mean?
yeah.
Certain things you can't just say; you had to live it. Like, and being able to connect with those experiences through music is real, man. Like, it's real, man.
Yeah, he got a lot of good stuff going on with that reasonable doubt stuff coming up too. It looks
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm blessed to be a part of history, brother. It's a blessing, man. Yeah, definitely.
And keep your head up, bro. Keep
Yeah,
your
you
head up.
too, bro.
Doing a lot of
Man,
good things.
thank you, man. Stay strong, man.
Doing,
And when you get into those moments, man, just try your best to pour it into your craft, man.
so
You
it's a
got this.
weird spot to figure out right now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But hey,
And,
I'm trying, man.
yep, just
There's a
take your
lot of
time with
stuff
it,
that
bro.
comes up. There's a lot of healing that comes out of nowhere.
Hmm. And when you like, just remember this. It's always somebody that's doing better than you, and there's always somebody that's doing worse than you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's somebody that's dealing with the same situation you dealing with times two or times three or times five. Like, so just,
Yeah, it
remember
definitely is.
every day we wake up, we got another shot to be better, man. Like, so just gotta keep pushing and keep trying.
Definitely, bro. Well, it's good to
Yeah.
talk to you again, man.
You
Feel
too,
like
bro.
it's been a
Appreciate you
minute.
tapping in. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
been a minute, man. But
I lost touch with it last week. I chimed in at the last minute because the hour time difference like messed me up.
yeah,
Being in Tennessee, I was like, shit. Started at 9. It was my bad. I
yeah.
missed it last week, bro.
No, it's all good, man. I appreciate you tapping in, man. Every time you tap in, I appreciate it, my brother.
Hey, I appreciate the time too, bro. Keep doing what you're doing and keep your head up as well.
Yes, sir. Stay strong, bro. Yeah, man. We really are in this together, man. Like, everybody, that visit my platform and that I communicate with on this platform, we really in this together, man. We fighting the same fights. We have a lot of the same struggles. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a community, of people, and we gotta try our best to uplift each other. That's what it's all about. You know. Hey,
Hello, hi Freeway. Assalamu
hey.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
That's
How
what's
about
up.
yourself?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah. I'm here. I'm definitely
That's
blessed.
that's that's
Definitely
good.
blessed.
That's real good. First and foremost,
Mhm.
I came up on here to congratulate you and the whole state property. I went to the concert. The concert was live. When I tell you, me and my children was out there to representing for Philly, and mind you, I'm in Philly right now as we speak. I
Mhm.
tell you no lie, we was out there from 2 o'clock until the storm started and everybody had to, leave. And I was so
Mhm.
bad. I said, I can't see Will Smith. I can't see Freeway. I can't see BC. My son's was like,
Mhm.
I want to see the flip side. they was,
Hmm.
excited. So we was a little disappointed that we couldn't, see you in the whole state property. But, I, congratulate you all. And that concert was the bomb. I will say congratulations on that.
Y'all didn't
But
come back out for the concert. Y'all didn't come back out.
By the time we left, me and my mother and my children, the storm was so bad down North Philly.
Hmm.
It couldn't even see down the road, being on any buses or driving. By the time we got all the way home, we see it on the news. Will Smith said he going on at 12 o'clock. I said, well, I'll be damn. I should
Yeah,
have just
yeah.
stayed local, but I said, okay, well, we'll just watch the rest on TV. But
Yeah, we
thank
actually left,
you.
and then like soon as we got like home and people got to their places, the
Hmm.
mayor called and was like, "I need y'all to come back." And we turned right back around and came right back.
Yeah,
I definitely, it
it
was
was a good
important, man,
show.
for us to for that like sharing the stage with Will Smith for me was definitely like a bucket list thing for me.
It, it was. It really was. But I came up on here to tell you to know, just like the gentleman that was on here, just keep your head up. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Everything happens out here in this world for a reason.
Most definitely.
Also I sit here and try to keep close to, my friends. Even though I just had a fallout with my mama yesterday, but you only get one mama. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
we were
saying?
talking about
And
that earlier too. Like how we
yeah,
gotta uplift our parents no matter what. Like
yeah,
mhm.
and I'm leaving
That's your
Philadelphia.
mom and your dad. They two people that should get a pass no matter what. Like you know what I'm saying? Like.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So even though I had a fallout with my mother yesterday, but I love her dearly. You know what I'm saying? And you
Mhm.
got, I cherish them, and you gotta, love them, but you only get one. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You only get
definitely.
one. So you know what I'm saying? But I'm leaving Philadelphia first thing tomorrow morning to go down Florence, South Carolina. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I'll be out there living wise and whatnot. But you know, you just gotta keep the closest people to you.
Yeah, for
Life
sure.
is short, and nowadays the good die young. So it's like you gotta
Mhm.
just keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? And my condolences is to you with your children, because
Thank you.
that is a tight piece right there. I have two sons, and they
Mhm.
are my most prized possessions. I don't have no daughters, but I have two handsome little boys, a 10-year old and soon to be 12-year old, and
Mhm.
they are
God
my
bless you and your
most
family.
prized possessions. Thank you.
Mhm.
But yeah, I had a fallout with my mother, and it's just like I felt like just want to cry. I sit here and I pray to Allah, and just basically by me leaving Philadelphia tomorrow, it's just like what damn. Like, where do we go wrong? We still mother and daughter, but at the end of the day, I only get one of you just like you get one of me. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta keep my head up, in through any situations, knowing life, like I said, life is short. You gotta keep your head up. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, keep doing your big one in the music industry, and just do what you gotta do. I say I'll be on here every Tuesday. I tried to connect with you last Tuesday, but I said, okay, by the time I got on, it's just like shut me out. So I
No, it's
was
all
like,
good.
okay, but yeah, just like keep your head up. But I mean, it may fall back into place with me and my mother, but right now it's
Yeah,
just
God willing, I'm gonna
business.
pray for y'all. God willing, it does, man, because
It,
that's a very important connection that you have.
yeah, inshallah, and like I said, you only get one mother. Everybody had a fallout, no matter what the circumstances is. No matter
Mhm.
who's the middleman, no matter who's innocent, no matter who plays victim. You know what I'm saying? But you only get one mother, and I love mine dearly. But I will never, sit here and you know, turn her down, tell her no, or disrespect her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it hurts me dearly that I, had that fallout with my mother yesterday, and I'm at the point where I'm just ready just to go down South Carolina and just start with myself all over again with my two children. But
Yeah. Sometimes it's a saying like sometimes you got to go away to make a comeback. You know. So.
yeah, it is. I had a good talk with my father. He lives down south, and he was just telling me, you remove yourself from the situation. Doesn't matter what kind of situation it is, remove
Mhm.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the type to sit here and bark back or argue. It's not about who's going to win, who's going to get the last word, because at the end of the day, the one that we serve, Allah, is the one that get
Mhm.
that last word. You know what I'm saying? I could be
Most
taken out of
definitely.
here in my sleep and don't know why, and it's because me and my mother one had that fallout. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I
Definitely.
try not to sit
We
here
can't. We
and
can't even go to sleep angry at nobody. Like, you know,
Exactly,
we should try to
exactly.
get our affairs together every night before we even go to sleep. You know.
Exactly. So that's why, I sit here, like I said, I say my prayers and just basically just wake up and just thank them. You know what I'm saying? When
Can
after
you
I
do me
sit
a favor?
here,
Can you do me a big favor? Can you do me just one? You love me, right?
I sure do. I be on here every
You love
Tuesday.
my music, and you love.
I
Can you do
sure
me
do.
one
I
favor?
What's that?
You promise you gonna do it?
I promise you.
Text your mom and tell her you love her.
I sure will. I sure
Thank
will. I still have her
thank
number. Her number's
you.
still in my phone, and
Mm-hmm.
I rock with you. I still listen to your music, and one of your hits I listen to about Apple Music is called "She Makes Me Feel All Right."
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
my John. Yep. Shout out to Big One. She make me feel alright.
But yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely can do that. I definitely can do that. But yeah,
Yep.
I
And
definitely can do that.
being until you missed the concert, you know, I had my third annual Free Fest August 1st at the Philadelphia Navy Yard at the
Hmm.
Marine Parade Grounds. It's a free concert.
Hmm.
It's the 23rd anniversary of Philadelphia Freeway, so I'm performing the whole Philadelphia Freeway with a live band, and it's
Uh,
free. So come see the. I mean, I might not have Will Smith out there. I'm gonna try. I don't know how. You
okay.
know what I mean? I'm a crew I got. Maybe I could get Will to pop out, but God willing,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there, and we're gonna perform that whole album. So. Like
Yes.
if you
Yes.
still in South Carolina, try to come back for that day. It's gonna be lit.
Oh, for
August
sure, for
first.
sure, for sure. I tell you no lie, that song I can never get tired of. I may sit here and listen to a few songs with you on with BC, PD, and a few
Mm-hmm.
other young gunners, but that song right there, she makes me feel all right. I could just listen to the
Mm-hmm.
instrumental and I'd be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
It's
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's you do keep doing your thing on that music, but
And
I
that means a
definitely am.
lot to me because that project is that was on the album that I did. I think it was either 2010 or 2012 called
Hmm.
the Stimulus Package. And that was
Okay,
my first time stepping out away from Rockefeller on my own. That was like after the breakup. And
right.
that was my time to like try to start my career over. And for one
Hmm.
of those songs to resonate with you like that means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Keep doing your big one, but I am gonna text my mother because it hurts. It hurts. It hurts like
Yeah,
hell.
man.
But I definitely am gonna text her and tell her I love her. Not only
I
because that's my
appreciate
mother, but on the strength of, like I said, anything can go wrong, and they're not gonna be like, "Well, damn, I should have told her before. I love her before anything happens."
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
And look, like
that's
if
definitely
even if you don't get no response, do it once a week. Like you know what I'm saying? Like do it once a week, and eventually, God willing, she might I love you too text back and then that open up the conversation. Like, at least
right.
you
Hmm.
trying. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like and as children, it's our job to honor our parents. So even if
Right.
our parents close the communication on us, it's our job for us to keep trying. At least you kept trying. Like,
Right,
so
right.
yeah.
Inshallah. Well, I ain't
Inshallah.
gonna talk your head off too much, and I
No,
will
it's
be
all
up on
good.
here every Tuesday. Like I said, keep doing your big one, and
Yeah.
hopefully I'll be back in Philadelphia, like
Yeah.
I am
August
now.
1st.
Oh my gosh, to sit here and be
Put it
at
on
your
your calendar.
concert. I
Mm-hmm.
sure am. I promise you, I am. I
I
promise
appreciate you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Assalamu
tapping in.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yeah, y'all, man. This is Feeling Healthier Freeway. Road to a healthier you, road to a better you. That's just about our time. I appreciate each and everybody tapping in. Like, just to keep it all the way 100 with y'all. Sometimes, like, I could be having a horrible day or I could be going through some things. And, man, when I come on here and I share it with y'all and y'all share with me, it helps me a lot, too. So, this is not just to help other people, it helps me. I want to share a final message with y'all. Awareness Month ended, but your healing didn't. If I could stand up, if I could stand after everything that I've been through, you could stand too, and that's a fact. Like I've been through kidney failure, loss of my son, my daughter, my dad. Homies in the hood, like a lot of different things, like a lot of trials and tribulations. But I'm still here. I'm still standing strong. If I can do it, each and every one of y'all can do it too. And I have 3 call to actions for y'all. Like first and foremost, I want y'all to check on your people. Like if anybody that you know is going through some things, you might not have heard from them in a while, or you might have heard from them and you know you just know they got some issues and they going through some things. Check on them. Like check on your folks. See how they doing, man. Make sure y'all implement that. The second call to action, I need y'all to share this episode with someone who needs it. Each and every one of y'all that's on here, I know y'all know somebody that might need to hear what we talked about today. So a call to action for y'all is to share this episode with somebody that needs it. And I really appreciate y'all. And the third call to action is I need y'all to join us next week, same time, same place, so y'all can see the same smiley face. We in a place early. I love each and every one of y'all. I am Philadelphia Freeway. This is Road to a Better You, Philadelphia Freeway. Signing out early.
The thinkers. Reality rap. We were young and we were hungry, not to mention we were dingy, we were dirty, we was pissy, we were hoping, we were wishing, we were stuck in the trenches waiting for something to click. Then the click got with Poppy, got some keys without ignition. What we do? Started hustling, started pitching, started cooking rock. Then we started serving from the benches, got some hammers with extensions, case a nigga tried to stick us.